Hello, my name is Brian. I'm with Film Direct. I'm going to do a quick video here on how to use PrintFab RIP software with the new Apple OS 15.3. Apparently, they've made some changes to their operating system, and it's made saving presets and printer settings in PrintFab difficult. So I'm going to do a video on how to work around those changes and how to print some film on an Epson t3170x. Using the new version of PrintFab and the newest version of the Apple 15.3 Sequoia. All right, stay tuned. Thanks. So the first thing you want to do is go to printers and scanners and make sure that your printer is actually installed on the computer. So here we've got the Epson SureColor 3170x. If you don't see it listed here, you need to go to Add Printer, find the printer. And I recommend you run it USB or Ethernet. Running Wi-Fi, it's going to stall out. It's probably not going to work right. So I recommend you run it USB or Ethernet. So there's the printer right there. Go ahead and add printer. If the driver doesn't propagate right here, then you're going to need to go to the Epson website and download the latest driver and then hit add. So since it's already on the system, I'm going to bypass this part. After the printer and the computer are connected and working together, then you need to go to the PrintFab. I'm going to assume that you've already got PrintFab installed on your system. I'm not going to go through the setup process of that because it's fairly straightforward. So open up the PrintFab toolbox. You're going to add printer. Take a little while to detect it. So under connection, there's the 3170x. It recognizes the driver. Go ahead and add printer. Now the printer's on the system. Because it's a roll printer, what you want to do is open the PrintFab toolbox, and you're going to need to create a custom page size. So I've got 17:5:5 set up already. So maybe let's do a 17 by 7. We're running 17-inch film. We'll do 7 inches tall for like this small pocket print or a small chest print. 17 by 7. And you would do this for however many page sizes you typically want to do. I usually do 5, 7, 17 by 11, 17 by 22, but it just depends on your most common page sizes. Hit done. Go ahead and close out of PrintFab. And PrintFab so that's, now that the printer is connected to the system, it's connected through PrintFab. Now we need to set up the parameters to go ahead and print out of Illustrator. So the way you access the print settings through Illustrator is go ahead and go get the print dialog box set up. See if it propagates. So it doesn't see the 17 by 7, so we'll make sure we got the right printer set up. There's a 17 by 7. To access the PrintFab settings, you go to Setup. Make sure you got the right printer under Printer, and you want to go to Printer Options, and you're going to use Printer Features and Printer Settings. These are the two selections that you're going to use to set up PrintFab to print. So under Printer Features, under feature sets, you want to go unidirectional. Leave the microwave quality regular, platen gap default. Print separation line, you can leave that off. Save paper, you can leave that on or turn it on. Under special settings, screen printing, halftone screen mode, you want to set it to multi-black. Screening saturation. Because we're running a multi-black system on this printer, I typically put the screening saturation around 130 or 140%. This is the setting where it'll control how much ink is actually being put down on the film. So if it looks like it's oversaturating, go ahead and bring the percentage down. If it looks like it's banding at all, or if it's not quite dark enough, you can take it up in 10% increments and go all the way to 400%. But typically I found on this particular printer running a multi-black system, 140% is usually dark enough. It's actually plenty dark. So for the screen LPI, this is going to be the size of the dot. I'm going to make it kind of large right now, so I'm going to do a 38 LPI dot. Screen angle, I found that 25 works really well. You just want to avoid 0 and 45 just because of the way the screens are stretched. You're going to starting to get dot dropout if you choose 45 or 0, and you're going to get a weird moire pattern. So the screen angle of 25 eliminates that. Screen shape, go ahead and choose either 3 elliptical or 0 round. Those are going to be the two most popular dot shapes. And then as far as the rest of the stuff goes, multiple black cartridge enabled or disabled. This will enable or disable any particular slot on this printer, but because we are running a multi-black system, I'm going to leave them all enabled. Drop size, don't worry about that. Print width correction and print length, these, you really don't need to mess around with that stuff too much. Go ahead and hit OK. Then you scroll to PrintFab settings. Under PrintFab, under quality, you either want to use the 1200 or the 2400. The 1200 is going to print a little bit faster. However, the 2400 is going to print a little bit cleaner. If you're going to do a lot of halftone dots, I recommend the 2400. Under media type, it's going to default to plain paper. You want to choose matte film. Brightness and contrast, leave them both at 100 and hit OK. And that's all you need to do for the settings. So you can go ahead and hit print. And then from here, we would choose which colors in the design that we want to print. So we would print the black, the yellow, and the red, and that would print the 3 colors in this particular design. The red and the yellow would obviously halftone, the black would be a solid. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to print one of these and see what it does. So I went ahead and printed that, and it looked great. So here's the issue with the new 15.1 to 15.3. On the older macOS, you could save the settings. So right now, if we go to print one of these other documents, it'll print fine. Because we already set up the print parameters, it'll print fine. What's going to happen though, as soon as we close out Illustrator, we're going to lose all the settings we just did. So in previous versions of macOS, what you would do is you would set up the page parameters how we just did, and then you would go to presets, and you would save current preset as a setting, and then you would refer back to this preset every time you went to print. However, with the when they introduced the Sequoia 15.1, these presets no longer work if they're saved in Adobe Illustrator or Photoshop. So in order to get the presets to work, this is what I referenced at the beginning of this video, is there's a workaround. So what you do is you open up Preview. Let me see here. I've got a document on my desktop. This is a test document in Preview. So we're going to go to Print. And what we're going to do is we're going to set up the same parameters we did in Illustrator. We're going to set it up in Preview. So we go to Printer Options, Printer Features. So under Printer Features, we're going to set it unidirectional, microwave quality regular, platen gap default, print separation line off, save paper, we can turn that on. Special settings, screen printing, halftone screen mode, we're going to go to multi-black. Screening saturation, we're going to do the 130. Screen LPI, we're going to set this one up at 46. This is for more of a traditional, smaller-ish halftone dot. Screen angle, 25. The screen LPI of 46. This works really good with screen meshes of 225 or above. Screen shape, I'm going to leave that elliptical. Yeah, and I'm going to leave these all enabled. I'm not going to worry about this. I'm going to hit PrintFab settings. Change it to, I'm going to do this at 2400 DPI because this is primarily going to be a halftone setting. Plain paper, we're going to change that to matte film. Dithering, we're going to leave default. Brightness, contrast, we're going to leave default. And we're going to hit OK. So that's pretty much what we just did in Illustrator. However, we just did it in Preview instead. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go to Presets, save current setting as a preset. So I'm going to do multi-black, 2400 DPI, and then the LPI at 46. This just gives me a reference of what the setting is, and 130% on the screen saturation. So this is just a reference for me to look at this in the future and go. So I'm running a multi-black, 2400 DPI, 46 line screen at 130%. And hit OK. I'm going to hit cancel. I'm going to close out a preview. I'm going to go back into Illustrator. Now, if I go into Illustrator and I want to use that particular setting, I'll go to Setup. Instead of leaving default settings, I'm going to go to presets, and this is the one we just set up in Preview. So I'm going to use this one, and then I'm going to hit print, and then I'm going to go to my output, and I'm going to print one film just to test it. So I'm going to print the yellow and see what it does. So I went ahead and printed that last document with that saved preset, and it printed fine. I'd show it to you, but it doesn't really preview well with the camera on my computer, so it's kind of a waste of time, but you'd have to trust me on that. Everything looked fine. Everything printed great. So that's the way you can save settings in the new 15 point whatever on Sequoia. You're not going to be able to save the presets through Illustrator or Photoshop at this time. You're going to have to do it through Preview. It's kind of weird, but it does work, and it is a workaround. So to go over again, when you first open up Illustrator, you can set up the documents manually, set up the parameters for PrintFab manually, and it'll work during the session. So as long as you keep opening new documents, it'll continue to use the same setting. However, once you close out PrintFab, it'll forget all those settings you just did. So the next time you open it up and you go to print again, you're going to have to put those settings back in. However, if you want to go into the like we did in the preview, you can actually save the presets in preview and then open a document in Illustrator and then use the presets in Illustrator. So I'll show you one more time. So here's the preset we did in preview. And again, you can do multiple presets. You can set up this one we set up at 46 LPI. You could set up the same with 36 or 56 or whatever. So you can have unlimited presets. So if you choose that, now it's going to choose the 46 line dot. Go ahead and hit print, and it'll go ahead and print the 46 dot. Let's say you want to do a 36-inch dot, then we'd have to go, either we could do it manually. So instead of 46, we can change that to 32 or whatever, and then you go ahead and print, and that'll print a lot larger size dots. So you can do it manually, or you can do it through the preset. Like I said, if you do it manually, you're going to have to do it every time you open Illustrator. If you save the preset, you're just going to have to do it that one time. So I hope that helps with a little confusion in the way that presets work. Unfortunately, they're not working in Adobe right now, so I'm not really sure if it's an Adobe issue or if it's an Apple issue, but I don't think it's a PrintFab issue. I think it's just the way it's all coming together. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Again, this is Brian with Film Direct Online. You can reach us on the website, or if you want to put a comment in the section in the comments below, I'll try to get back to you. All right, thanks for watching.